Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of the. I think I called it the Modernity LP in the last episode, but that's a mistake because I decided I was going to call it the. No, not the. No, the. It's just Minecraft Modernity. Okay, you can see already what I've been working on in the last week since the last episode. And that's what I want to talk about. This might be a little bit of a talky episode where I just, show off, uh, all the little chores that I've done. We still got the music. I was messing with some settings in OBS earlier, which is kind of dangerous. So I'm hoping there's not too many problems that I can't sort out in editing. But anyway, let's get started showing off everything I did. So this first thing, this whole area right here, you can see I added a little. I felt like this area right here was just begging for a waterfall, so I added a little waterfall. Well, a lot of the detailing needs to be done later, but on the other hand, I still haven't done. Can we fly around or is it gonna lag? I don't know. Like it always, I always have trouble with the video when it starts. Um, hmm. I didn't like the music last episode, so I'm kind of worried about it now. But maybe if we just lower the volume so it's just a little more subtle. I don't know. That might be better. But yeah, it always lags when we try to fly around, which is part of the reason why I you wanted to start the series with all the stuff already done, because we can't explore on camera together. Otherwise, it'll. I mean, we can, but it'll lag, and I don't really want to show that. But anyway, I was saying I haven't done any additional detailing on this. There's all these little things that are still messed up. Actually, I have a bed over here, so let's just use the bed over here. You might have noticed when we were up on that fungus that I took the time to tear down everything that was over here. We used to have a few farms over here and a bunch of chests, and so a lot of my time last week was spent moving this. I was actually listening to the new Red Hot Chili Peppers album over and over again, and just moving shulker boxes full of items. And I think this is kind of interesting. I had a beacon over here. I tore that down. Um, those guys are safe for now. Um, but this is what was kind of interesting because I started moving them to the locations where we're actually going to build the new buildings. And I decided that the quarry is going to go over here. So over here, we're going to store all of our um, stone, deep slate, things like that. We're going to have dirt. I think we're going to have sand over here. Even going to have quartz over here. And ores. So we have, where's our ores? All our ores in there. And yeah, I haven't prepared this quarry yet, but it's going to be a pretty big quarry. Like a pretty big square all around this beacon. I don't know why these don't show up. But yeah, I dug down. I built another beacon. I should have left some water down there, but I forgot to do that. But I'll do that later. This whole area is going to be the spot where I mine grass and dirt. And it's actually going to go pretty close to the lumber mill. It's going to come up to about here, probably, because we want to take full advantage of the beacon range. And then over there, we're going to have a bunch of storage. We're going to have some big elevator shafts. And we're going to have, you know, a big building and a big lot. And we're going to have a garage somewhere. And I'm still thinking that the what's it called? The rail station is going to be over here too. But I have no idea how that's going to get laid out. But we have a few other things. I'll get to this area in a second. But I put this winding path in, and I decided that the woodworks are going to go over here. The stoneworks up here. We're going to have a big spire for like an enchanting tower. I'm going to have alchemy up there probably. We're also going to store all our tools and redstone. Like we're going to have a building that is built up over here, and then a big ruined tower in the center of it. And then we're going to have our storage system over here. And I'm thinking the building over here is going to be pretty huge. It's going to be a pretty big building project. I wanted to have more building progress to show off in this episode, but I just realized there was so much, like so many little things that needed to get done before I could, move on with building. And so I've been doing all that. We also have. I also had to decide on a particular style, and that's what this is. And even this area over here, like I wanted to build a greenhouse this episode, and then I realized there's so many little farms that need to be incorporated into the design, and honestly, so many like we're probably gonna have, we're gonna have bamboo over here. Probably, we're going. Actually, we might want to have a bamboo-based fuel farm later on by a super smelter or something like that. So maybe we'll have our bamboo elsewhere. I don't know. We already showed off where my sugarcane farm is, but we might have an automated sugarcane farm around here. We might have that somewhere else. We could put netherwort around here. We got carrots, potatoes, melons and pumpkins. And most importantly, some of these farms for farming the logs. I don't know if it's most importantly, but it's kind of most importantly. It is kind of important because they need to be in range of the bone meal farm. Although we could probably have a chunk loader, couldn't we? And I don't have jump boost over here. Yeah, I might have to see about a chunk loader, but these things really guzzle bone meal. These are both designs by Ilmengo. This is the second one of these that I built. The other one is over there in that building. And I made a modification on this one so that we have to manually load it, but we can farm azaleas and moss and all that stuff. But this will allow us to harvest the oak logs without needing to stop every time and use the hoe to get our saplings back, or like this will just allow us to have an easier time farming those oak logs. I put the switch on this side, that way we can access the storage from this direction. And I also built Ilmengo's flower farm, and this uses tons of bone meal, even more than that one. I don't even really want to run it, but that's loud. But yeah, produces tons of drops. I was actually going to build 2 of these, but this is another thing that I realized was going to take tons of time because we're out of gold. So in order to craft more powered rails for this, which it's really not that expensive, we had to go over to the gold farm. I had to AFK at the raid farm for a little bit. Actually, it wasn't AFKing. I was manually clicking. And that's why we have so many levels. I had to, do that to get the redstone. Also, we were running out of beacon blocks. So there was so many different chores for us to do. Let's just throw this back. I don't think we have space. Yeah. A lot of time loading things up into shulker boxes and just, throwing them throwing them down. But this is giving me, like, in the past, I had a loose layout in my head of how things were going to be. I kind of knew what buildings we were going to have. But now I have much more defined layout, and I have an idea of what the style is going to be. Now, this is not finished, but this is a good start, I think, to show off like what the style that we're going to be using is. Um, and that is uh, a combination of modern technology and ruins. And I've seen a few different hermits use this style. There's some subterranean sheep action down there because I just built over some rifts in the earth, and so there's all sorts of action down there. But yeah, I've seen B Double O is currently doing this. I've seen Mambo Jumbo kind of did it. Who else? I was thinking there's like one other person that I saw. Oh, Doc M is currently doing a style like this too. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have done this kind of style because personally, I think this can be really cool for the storytelling because you can use a wide variety of different styles, and there's a lot of freedom and there's a lot of contrast. So the modern things will look even more modern compared to the ruined things, which can look even more old. Um, and it also will give it a kind of Victorian sense of whimsy about the ruins. At least I say Victorian not because I know anything about archaeology or history, but because I watched a Lindy Page video and he said that the Victorians like ruins. So I always think about ruins as being Victorian. I'm sure that's actually a really common thing. I don't know, but yeah, we're going to be building ruins like this, detailing them a lot more. I'm not sure exactly how much of the foundation we're going to be using, like how much space is there going to be. I kind of want it to look like pillars and arches more than just like solid rock. Um, but yeah, it's going to be slightly overgrown. This was the remnants of a like a gatehouse. There's going to be some debris on the ground. Hopefully, we can get it back to actually detailing some of this stuff and don't just neglect it like the lumber mill. But and then there's going to be an even bigger building, like that was part of the original structure, to wall off this, and yeah, it's going to be the ruin is going to be built up around this, and it's going to look like this was built in the space of that ruin. And then we're going to have a lot of sprawling gardens and farms and things like this. You might have lichen farms, spot for farming vines, uh, cocoa beans, things like that. Anything that requires bone meal in a large supply might be in this area here, and just decorative things like melon farms, uh, maybe pumpkins. I also tore down those Ilmengo's melon pumpkin farm things because I hate crafting melon slices. Like I I hate that so much. That's the thing which took so long about tearing them down is they really like look. Let's take a look over here. Uh, I don't know. I'm still experimenting with different camera angles. Like all of these, well, these are pumpkins, right? And then we have a bunch of boxes of melons, which took forever to craft because they were spilling all over the ground, and you know, you just don't have a very big inventory for that, do you? I really wish they would implement some sort of auto crafting thing in the game. Like add some hopper support to the crafting table. I saw an Ilmango video where he talked about that. That way you could, simplify that process and automate it. But anyway, yeah, we have. That's basically the extent of what I've done. It's not a whole lot of stuff to actually show off on camera, um, which is kind of a problem, you know. Next time I definitely will have more stuff done because I have like a little bit more of an idea of how the whole base is going to lay out, a little bit better idea of the scale, a little bit better idea of you know, the style that we're going to use. I don't remember if I repeated myself or not. I kind of lost my train of thought as I was switching the camera there. Um, so yeah, hopefully I'll have something for next week, which is going to be, you know, a build to show off. We could do a little bit of building on camera together here, but I don't have that set up. So next time we might do that. So this might be a little bit of a short episode. I'm already really far behind. I'm going to be uploading it at night. Um, oh, there's one other thing. I remember I did this too. I was trying to find um, a way of farming saplings, and I experimented with that, and I didn't make any progress with that. So I dug out this whole area underneath here. I expanded this area. Another one of those little chores I did. I was going to try growing the acacias so that only the tops would come up through the ground, and that didn't work, I think, because of their spawning requirements. I think it works with oak trees, but we don't need it for oak trees. It doesn't work for birch trees either. At least I couldn't get it to work. So for those, we're just going to be using the Fortune 3 hoe and this setup over here. What else did I do? I tried building a greenhouse in a creative world. Like I wanted to work on some designs, and that I hated that. So I actually not only did I decide not to use it, but I actually deleted the whole like building test world because I'm like I don't. But that wasn't because I hated it so much. That was just because I was gonna start doing things in I was only gonna have one test world rather than having multiple test worlds. I thought that would be too complicated. So yeah, I did attempt to make progress on some things that got scrapped, and then I realized there was tons of extra chores that I had to do, or at least wanted to do. And then I also was having tons of technical problems, which really slowed me down with the other series, and so you end up with, a short little episode. But I hope it wasn't you know, too bad. I don't know how common the style will be, but yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. Definitely, although it is kind of nice to be able to show things off in their half-finished state and talk about the plans before I actually start making more progress. Have at least a little bit of that going on. I also did a little more work with preparing the storage system in that test world, Ethos Shulker storage system. And I figured that having this layout with the stoneworks, woodworks, all the stuff up here, the whole garden area, the quarry, and the lumber mill, they'll give me a sense of how I actually want to be sorting my shulker boxes. So hopefully um, hopefully we can start getting that storage system soon because that would be really, really helpful. But yeah, I'm gonna go AFK at the gold farm. I'm gonna probably get some of this stuff stockpiled and farm some fungus and acacia. What's that sound? I heard some kind of. Oh, it's a witch. Okay, but yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I'm gonna start, building some sprawling gardens and some more ruins around here. And probably focus on this. I might focus on the quarry because we really needed another spot to do the strip mining and speed mining. So I might do that too. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to build, but I do have a much clearer style for what that's going to be like. That is a style in mind.